Hey loves, this is Bobby and I am here with another video. This one is finally my quarantine book haul video. I've been wanting to do this one for a bit, but it's kind of waiting for most of my books to get here because I keep ordering more. But if I keep waiting, I will literally never do this, so I'll just break it up into other videos. So I'll just do more when the others get here because I've got a really big stack and this video is probably already going to be long enough without adding all the ones that I've recently bought. So most of these I have bought since, I want to say about April. I had 2 orders before these, but I had redid all of my shelves during probably about the 3rd week that I was on quarantine after my job shut down. And all those new books I had already put away and I am not going to yank them out. So these are all the ones that I have bought since then. It's quite a big stack here. Yeah, I went really overboard. A lot of these too are ones that I got in my book swap groups that I'm in on Facebook. Every month we get partnered up and we go off of people's wish lists, or if there's a book that you really like that you think your partner will like, you could send them that, because I love when people do that. I'm pretty open with what I read. There's very few genres I don't touch, so I love people to send me their favorite books because a lot of times there's books I've never even heard of. So yeah, let's get started because this is going to be a pretty long video. I don't even remember what some of these books are about. I know I've talked about it before in one of my other videos, but I really like being surprised when I read a book. Like when I buy it, of course, I read what it's about, unless it's something that's been really highly recommended. But it's been quite a while since I bought these, so I don't remember what most of them are about. I'll try and go over the ones that I do, but it'll be a surprise for all of us because it's kind of a lot here and different genres. A lot of fantasy, especially YA fantasy, but I'm excited to see what I got here because I don't even remember what I bought half of the time, and I have these all flipped backwards with the pages out because I was taking pictures of them, and I haven't looked at the titles in a while. So yeah, let's see what we've got here. The first book is Sleeping Giants by Sullivan. I can't see the last name because there's still a sticker on here. I've seen this book mentioned a lot recently in people's videos, and I believe this is kind of a fantasy sci-fi or something like that. I think this is about a girl who falls down I think like a hole or something, and she ends up being found cradled into a giant hand that has been buried for, who knows how long. And she ends up growing up and starts researching these, I believe. It sounded really interesting and it came really highly recommended. So I definitely wanted to check it out, and it sounded like something that I would definitely enjoy. And it's been compared to World War Z, and I love that book, so I'm hoping it's got, something kind of cool and interesting. But yeah, it's been coming recommended quite a bit lately. Next is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. I really, really, really do gotta figure out how to hold books. I don't know how people make it look so easy. This is a book about, I've seen it mentioned when people say if you like Nevernight, you'd really enjoy it. I believe this has to do with an assassin school or something like that as well. This girl ends up going to a convent that end up being, they train them to be assassins or something like that. I'm really into assassins lately, so when I saw this mentioned in a review, I definitely wanted to check it out. I believe I got this one for a book swap group, so yeah, I'm really excited to start that one. This next one is a box set. I don't probably even have to talk about it because it's literally everywhere, and that is the Mistborn Trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. This series is I believe, high fantasy. If you can see the size of these things, I'm very intimidated by them, but I can't wait to read them because I have heard literally nothing but amazing things about them. I believe this one has like a heist in it, or at least the first one does, and I am a sucker for a good heist, so I am excited for these. But these, like I said, I don't really know too much about them. I've just seen them highly recommended so much, and I knew I definitely wanted to check them out. And also, the covers of these are freaking gorgeous. So, and I'm a sucker for beautiful covers, so I knew I was going to get these eventually. And I believe I got them on sale, so it worked out. The next one is also a Brandon Sanderson, and that is Elantris. This is another one I keep seeing a lot. It's kind of just following me around. And I believe all of his books take place in like the same universe, but you can read them completely separate. And I keep seeing this one, like I've seen it in pretty much every booktubers that I follow, and their videos mentioned it at least once. So I knew I was going to pick it up, and I've really been wanting to get more into the bigger fantasy novels. So I knew this was going to be definitely on the top of my list to get for that. This next one was also a gift from one of my book swap partners, and that is the Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin. This is a contemporary romance, I believe, and it is LGBTQ plus. This has to do with a guy who runs a book club that has to do with his favorite supernatural romance series, and I believe the other guy is someone that works at the bookstore where he has the club meetings, and they kind of butt heads. I love the whole enemies to lovers type of thing. You know, I'm hoping they're really snarky and stuff to each other. It sounded super cute, and the only time I really read kind of rom-com-y books is if they are LGBTQ plus. When it comes to hetero relationships, when it comes to rom-coms, it's just like every other movie out there. I just kind of get with them. But throw me an LGBT one and I will eat it up like num num num. So I can't wait to start this one. I was hoping to read it this month, but I am really over my head and kind of drowning in my TBR right now. So I do hope to get to this one soon. And it's really small, so it sounds really cute. And I'm glad I got that one. This next one is actually a script from Psycho Beach Party by Charles Bush. This is a movie. It is a total B movie. It's cheesy and absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite movies. I had found out that they had a script version for it, and I got it for I think like $2 off of Thrift Books. And it's just like I said, it's the script for the movie, as you can see. This follows a girl, Florence. She ends up joining this surfer dudes, like kind of bro club, and she goes by Chicklet. And like I said, it's really just really funny, really weird. I 100% recommend the movie if you can find it. I believe I bought it on Amazon Prime. But yes, Rev, watch this. It's so funny. It's so out there. It's weird. Like I said, it's one of my favorite movies. The next one is the second book in a series. I had bought one, and then I thought I had bought two, but apparently I bought three. I haven't read the series yet, but it sounded really good. That is Tallulah Rising by Glenn Duncan. The first book in this is The Last Werewolf. I like werewolves. I've been wanting to read more about werewolves. I've heard it's a pretty good series, like nothing mind-blowing or anything, but it sounded cool enough that I wanted to check it out, and I got all of these on Thrift Books for a couple dollars, so I didn't mind. They're not too big. They're all about the same length. I don't really remember what the series is about. I just know it's like the guy, he's been living for like decades and or what, millennia or something like that. and he's the last werewolf, and then I guess shit happens with that. I don't know. But like I said, this is the second book in the series. The first one is The Last Werewolf. This next one, I didn't know it was a memoir. I usually stay away from nonfiction. It is just a genre I do not do. So this is what happens when you just read titles of books, you like the covers, and you don't actually know what they're about. And that is Searching for John Hughes, written by Jason Diamond. This is his memoir of him growing up and just really loving the movies and like his life and stuff, and I guess how John Hughes kind of inspired him. Like I said, I do not read nonfiction. Like, it's literally a no-go for me, but John Hughes movies are some of my absolute favorites, so I think I might try giving this a try. And I like the cover. It was pretty, and it's got Breakfast Club on it. So yeah, I'm gonna see what this is about. Maybe give it a shot and see if I can get out of my comfort zone, because like I said, I just do not read nonfiction because I've never been able to. But I was never able to do audiobooks, and now I am, so I don't know. Give it a try. The next one I keep seeing as well all over, and it is a middle grade book, and it sounds so magical, and I knew I had to have it, and it was only like $4, so I definitely got it. And that is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Callie Barnhill. This is a story about there's like a village, I believe, or something, that there's a witch that lives outside of the village, and everybody thinks that if they sacrifice a kid to her, that she'll leave them alone or protect them or something like that. But this witch actually has no idea why the hell these people keep leaving her children. But she takes them in and she gives them to people that want to raise children in a village, like across, I believe, a lake or something. And she gives all of the children star water or star something, and she accidentally gives this girl the moon water. I don't even know what she gives them, but she gives her something to do with the moon, and it kind of has these repercussions. But the cover is absolutely stunning. I've seen it popping up in a lot of booktuber videos, and it instantly caught my attention. I've been trying to read a little more middle grade books. I've always enjoyed them a lot, especially when it comes to fantasy. They're just always so beautifully written and just easy and so enjoyable, and I really, really hope I can get to this one soon. This is another one that's definitely on the top of my list. I can't wait for it, like I said, but mine was just that cover. Look at how absolutely gorgeous this cover is. The next one, I instantly wanted to pick it up because it has to do with, I believe, Mayan folklore. And that is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. The cover stood out to me. It's absolutely beautiful. I wanted the hardcover, but the paperback, I believe I got this one as a gift as well. And the covers were the same, but hardcover is beautiful. But I do actually prefer, I'm one of those weird people that actually prefer paperbacks just because they're easier for me to carry, because I do like to carry my books around with me. This has to do with a young woman who gets called upon by, I believe, the Mayan gods or something like that. And she's from Mexico City. And she goes on this quest that's set out to her by the gods. I've never really read anything to do with the Mayan gods, and it's just always something that's interested me because I absolutely love anything to do with gods and goddesses. And then the fact that this has to do with Mexican folklore, just instantly I knew I was going to pick this up. This is one of the other ones that is definitely on the top of my list, and I cannot wait to get to it. It sounds really cool. I've seen it mentioned, but I haven't seen anybody read it yet, so I don't really know at all what I'm getting into with this one, but I hope it's really good. Let's see here. Next is another one that I got from a book swap, and that is Grave Mercy. I actually have the first book in the connecting series for this. I didn't know that was part of a series, and I've heard that you can kind of go into that series without reading these, but they say it's better if you do read these. so I definitely want to read them. This has to do with a girl who escapes an arranged marriage, and she ends up taking protection from I don't know if they're a convent or something, and it's a convent, and they kind of follow the god of death, and she finds out that she has these powers and she can do more for it, and she doesn't have to get married. It sounded really cool, and I believe this is another one where they're kind of an assassin. Yeah, so I definitely want to read this. Like I said, I'm really digging assassin books right now, so yeah, I've heard good things about this too, so here's to hoping. This next one is another contemporary. I don't know how I ended up with so many contemporary books. I think most of these, all the contemporaries were gifts, but all the gifts came from my Amazon wish list. I'm usually not much into contemporary, but like I said, if it comes to LGBT, I will read contemporary for them, as well as rom-coms and romance, which is usually a no-go for me, but throw me the gays and I'll love it. This one is called You Ask for Perfect by Laura Silverman. This one is about a boy who's used to being the best of the best in his school, and he starts failing in, I believe, calculus, and he needs to get tutoring, and he happens to need tutoring by the boy that he cannot stand. Like, they're the enemies, but I guess the enemy actually likes him, and it kind of just goes for their relationship from there. Like I said, I love the whole enemies to lover type of thing. I think it's absolutely adorable, especially with LGBT. It sounds really cute. I can't wait to start this one. I don't know when I'll get to this one, but contemporary is that one genre where I really have to be in the mood to read it. So I think once that mood hits me, I'll either read this one or the book club one. This next one is the final book in a trilogy, I believe it is. And that is The Song of Rising by Samantha Shannon. The first book is The Bone Season. I bought that series so long ago, I don't even think I ever started it, but it sounded really interesting, and recently I've seen it mentioned a few more times, and it kind of got me interested again into picking it up. I really like having the full series, even if I haven't read it and I don't know if I'm going to like it. I like to buy the whole series because I'm dumb like that, because if I do like it, I want to have all the books on hand, even though I also don't like to finish series, but hey, don't judge me, I'm a mess. This has to do with a girl, or I know the first book has to do with a girl that has these powers. She's like clairvoyant and can dream walk, which are two things that no one's supposed to be able to do, and she works for like a detective or something. It sounded really interesting. I remember really wanting to read The Bone Season, and it was just one of those I bought, super excited to read it, and then just never picked it up. So now that I have the whole trilogy, I do hope that I will get to it sooner rather than later. This next one, I don't know much about it. I really liked the cover, and the name of it really caught my attention, and that is An Illusion of Thieves by Kate Glass. This has to do with I believe they live in a world where magic is kind of like outlawed or something like that. And her brother he's a thief, and he steals something, and she sacrifices both of them, I believe, to be outcast. Oh, she has like influence, like in like the higher court or something like that, and she sacrifices that so that her and her brother can be safe, but they have to go live, I guess in like, I guess what we considered Skid Row type of thing, and then there's like a shadow lord that they have to fight against or something, and that's when she kind of unlocks that she has this power, even though no one's supposed to have magic. Like I said, I don't really know too much about this one. It sounded cool, I think, when I read it, but I really liked the cover, and I'm a sucker for pretty covers. I'm not sure when I'll get to this one, but hopefully soon. It sounds really cool. It sounds different. And yeah, don't know what else to say about that one. Let's see here. The next one is the second book, I believe, in the series, and that is Lady Smoke. The first book is Ash Princess. I got both of these, I believe, as gifts I got the first one quite a while ago, and I just got this one recently. The series has to do with a girl who, I believe she was a princess, and she ends up losing her title or something like that, and they name her the Princess of Ash or something. Like, I can't tell you what that series is about. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It sounded really cool, I remember. That's why I put it on my list. These are one of the ones that I think I had like a little lower on my wish list, but they were the ones that were given to me, and they do sound really good, and I really hope to get to them. I don't know if there's 2 or 3 books in them, but I do have the first one, and that's another one that's kind of on. The Ash Princess is pretty high on my TBR to get to. So yeah. As you can tell, like I said, I do not remember what most of these books are about. This one is, I believe, the 3rd book in a series. It's called The Chess Queen Enigma by Colleen Gleason. This has to do with, I believe they're the nieces or the daughters of Sherlock Holmes and Bram Stoker. They're kind of like a detective series. I don't remember much about them, but the whole, Sherlock Holmes and Bram Stoker type of thing just really stuck out to me, and it sounded really cool, and the covers were really pretty. This is the 3rd book. I haven't started the series. I just recently bought the other 2 not that long ago. I think those might have been from the haul that I did right before I reorganized my shelves. So yeah, there's that one. This next one will be the last one I do. These are all the kind of paperbacks that I did. I'll probably do a second part to do all of the hardcovers, because I have them split up, and this video is already getting super long, and I don't know if I want a 40-minute video. I'm not sure. I might cut this part out and just keep going, but who knows. This next one I have seen mentioned a lot recently. This was another gift from my book swap groups, and that is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. That is a name that I probably should have looked up first. I have seen this one mentioned, and I know it has something to do with a djinn, and djinns are just something that's always fascinated me, and I haven't really ever really picked up books featuring them. And the ones I have read, I don't think I cared for very much, but it's one of those creatures, or mythical creature, mythical beings that I've always been really hopeful to read about, and I've heard a lot of good things about these, so I cannot wait to start this. Like I said, I don't really know too much about it. I just know that it features a djinn. So yeah, can't wait to start that. But this is a heifer, so I'm not quite sure. This is, I know I've said it quite a few times, but this one is on top of my list. The cover is absolutely stunning. And the partner that gave me this was one of her favorite books that she had read in the past year, so she definitely wanted to get this one for me, and I'm really appreciative because it's been popping up a lot lately, and it sounds really cool. So those are all the paperbacks that I've gotten. The next stack will be all the hardcovers.